Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oleg. I come from Siberia, Russia. And today, I just started my program with a very famous Russian folk tune. It's called "Заиграй моя балалайка," which means "play my bagpipes." Unfortunately, I don't play bagpipes, so I don't know how to. And that's why I played it on this unusual instrument, triangular instrument, with another instrument. Actually, I'm going to perform today with a few different musicians, but all of them are sitting in this nice blue box, and they're behaving very well. So, and should I tell you a little more about my instrument? Do you know the name of it? Balalaika, exactly. Balalaika is a Russian folk instrument. It has triangular shape, 3 strings, and 2 of them, by the way, tune same tone. So I have 3 strings, but only 2 tones to start with. And this instrument is a Russian folk instrument, very old one. You can think of it as of Russian version of a mandolin, because it comes from the same family of Asian roots. And main difference between them, as I said, triangular shape, just 3 strings, and when I play it, I don't use any picks. I'm strumming it and picking strings only with my naked fingers. This is the main difference. And that's why timbre of this instrument is a little different from the mandolin as well. And we have a few balalaikas already here. Should we create orchestra? No? Should we try? So, first pictures of balalaikas came to us from 9th century, and first writings about balalaikas dated by 17th century. And they were found in sort of like police report of those days. It was the year 1648. And the report was about 2 peasants who were entering the city of Moscow through the gates, and they were singing songs, playing balalaika, and cursing governments. So gate guards asked them politely, please stop cursing governments, and right after that, those peasants started to curse gate guards as well. So they got arrested, balalaika was confiscated, and both of them were sent to Siberia. That's what was my thought as well, because I thought maybe those people could be considered as my predecessors. But no, looks like in 17th century Russian Tsar used to send people not to Siberia, but to what now is called Ukraine, because they just started to build big cities over there. So, but why those peasants were cursing governments? I think because it was exactly the same year, 1648, when Russian Tsar, second one from Romanov's dynasty, Alexei Mikhailovich Romanov, issued the order to destroy all Russian folk instruments. And people weren't even allowed to play any musical instruments. Why he did it? I think he did it because, as you might know, Russia used to have pagan culture. And I would like to say that balalaika represents exactly Russian pagan culture. It was there before Christianity came to Russia. And it was, I think, lots of problems with Christianity because people wouldn't accept it for a long time, for a few centuries. Even officially, Russia was considered as a Christian country. People would keep their old pagan traditions a lot, more than to accept Christian traditions. And that's why I think finally Russian Tsar and Russian Orthodox Church decided to destroy the most vital part of any culture, the music. So they effectively destroyed Russian pagan music by not allowing people to play musical instruments. And finally, after a couple centuries, Russia was Christian enough, I think. So, and maybe before we continue, I would like to demonstrate how balalaika sounds on its own, and how I play it, and how those peasants were having fun with those instruments. So when I play it, I strumming it with my index finger, and it sounds like that. So I think it was too much fun for Russian Orthodox Church. Almost a couple centuries later, balalaika became popular again in Russia because another Tsar, very famous one, Peter the Great, allowed to play instruments again. Of course, most of them were gone forever because people forgot how to make them, how to play them. But for some reason, balalaikas were still there. I don't know why. I think personally because balalaikas used to be the most primitive instruments, musical instruments in Russian culture. For example, most of them used to have just 5 frets. It means all you can play is pentatonic music, which is disadvantage. Also, it can serve as a big advantage because whatever you're strumming out sounds good immediately. You don't have to be a musician. You don't have to learn how to play music. So they were probably considered mostly as a toys. That's why they survived. And after it was allowed to play musical instruments, they were there, and they just became very popular again. So popular that we can trace balalaika even in Russian Tsar's court. For example, there was first Russian violin virtuoso, whose name is Nikolai Khandoshkin. He studied violin with very famous Italian violin virtuoso Tartini, because when he was 14, he went to Italy to learn how to play violin. Then he came back to Russia and organized orchestra for the Russian Queen. But his second favorite instrument to play was balalaika, and he used to have special one, not just with 5 frets, but with many of them, with long neck and many frets. And he was the first one who started to play classical music on balalaika because he was classically trained in Italy. I would like to continue this tradition and play for you a little classical piece written by Italian composer Bacchirini, and it's called Menuet. I will continue with classical and play for you another short piece written by French composer Rameau. No, not Rameau, but Daken. And it's called Cuckoo, because it's imitating call of cuckoo bird. And you know this bird called cuckoo. So it's not living here in the United States, but it's a very popular one in Europe and in Russia particularly. Another classical piece I would like to play will be written by Handel, a very famous British composer, who often considered as German one as well, because he was originally from there. And it will be part of his suite called Passacaglia. And finally, I would like to tell you a story about how balalaika became a concert instrument and how this instrument ended up playing on stage. It happened on the end of the 19th century in St. Petersburg. There was a young gentleman living over there whose name was Vasily Andreev. And he was from noble family, very educated young man, who was interested in music as well. And he was studying how to play violin, piano, and how to compose music. And somehow he decided to try and play balalaikas, and even found a couple local peasants and started to take lessons from them. And of course he was learning this toy-like 5 frets balalaika. And when he was good enough on this toy, he decided, why don't I improve this instrument and create something more sophisticated out of it, because he liked how it sounded and he liked to play it. He saw some potential in this instrument, and he did it. It was a difficult project. He spent the rest of his life playing balalaika. He organized orchestra. He actually standardized all balalaikas. Now they look the same, because before there weren't any standards how to make them. And he put more frets on balalaika and created Russian folk orchestra, because he created at first like whole family of them with 6 different sizes, from tiny piccolo up to huge double bass. And very naturally he put all of them together and created first Russian folk orchestra. They gave first concert in St. Petersburg in the year 1887, and it was great success. And this project even got support from Russian Tsar. And as you remember, there was second one from Romanov's dynasty who destroyed all Russian folk instruments, but last one was supporting it actually. So this Russian folk orchestra gave their first concert in St. Petersburg in 1887, and then they started to travel around Russia, promoting balalaikas and Russian folk music. And they went to Europe. They were representing Russia in Europe as well, which was a great success. And balalaikas became popular even in Europe after that. And, and even companies, it has name Zimmerman, I believe. They making musical instruments. The instruments, I believe, they still exist. They used to make balalaikas and domras in the beginning of 20th century. But what was the most difficult at first for Vasily Andreev, it was to find a music master who he could work with and who would build all those instruments Vasily Andreev was creating. Because balalaikas, they weren't considered as a musical instruments even. Every music master, violin maker or luthier Vasily Andreev would approach with this project, they would refuse to make balalaikas. They would say, this is not a music, we're sorry, we don't make balalaikas. If we start, we will ruin our reputation. And he almost gave up, and he couldn't know how to make instruments like himself. But finally he met a Polish gentleman who just moved to St. Petersburg. He was a retired Navy officer, and he started to make instruments. His name was Pasersky. And this gentleman told Vasily Andreev, I don't have huge reputation yet, so it looks like a very interesting project, very interesting instrument. I'll make balalaika for you, just don't tell anybody. And he did it, and I think it's very interesting fact that first Russian balalaika was concert type of Russian balalaika was made by a Polish gentleman, and that's why I'm always trying to play a piece of Polish music when I play concert. And I would like to play for you Polonese, which is a Polish dance, which was written by the father of modern balalaika, Vasily Andreev himself, because he was a good composer as well. And naturally, when he needed music for balalaika, he would create one piece or another one by himself. So this one he wrote and called Polonese #1 because it was the first one he made. like to play another Polonaise, and this second one is written by a Polish guy actually, not by Russian. But this Polish gentleman, he wasn't a professional composer, he used to be professional revolutionary, and his name is Mikhail Aginsky. So he started in Poland as a revolutionary, and he ended up as a Russian senator. So, but in between, when he was in immigration, he became known as composer and poet even, because he was a very talented gentleman. And the piece I would like to play, he called Polonaise Nostalgia for the Motherland. I would like to play for you another piece written by Vasily Andreev, the father of modern balalaika, and he wrote it by himself. And it's going to be waltz, which is called waltz balalaika because it was originally written for balalaika. But this time I'm going to play it with different instrument rather than piano. I will play it with another Russian folk instrument, which called bayan. And bayan is a Russian version of accordion, basically. This big instrument looks like accordion, but with 5 rows of buttons on the right side instead of piano keys. Continue with Russian folk music because I started with Russian folk tune, and I'm going to continue because on the end of all, balalaika is a Russian folk instrument. And so I will play a few melodies from the Volga River, and Volga River is the most famous and biggest river in the European part of Russia. It's probably as famous as Mississippi River over here in the United States. And there is many different nationalities living on the coasts of the Volga River, not only Russians. You can meet some even Russian German people, some Kalmykians, Armenians, and lots of other nations. And I think this is how Russia differs from the United States, for example, culturally. Because United States is often considered as a melting pot. It means whoever is coming here, second or third generation, they become American. Everybody is equal, everybody American, speak one language, and they have the same culture. But in Russia it works differently. For many centuries, there is lots of different people are living together without losing their identities. For example, there is still around 200 different nationalities in Russia. So we're not melting there. And I think it's just a different concept of how people can live together. So when I'm going to play Russian folk melodies in form of concert variations. sing for you. And this song is going to be from the Soviet Union. Because I was born, I grew up, and I got the education in a country called Soviet Union. And I think this country used to have great culture. A few melodies are still popular. And I'm going to sing for you a very famous one from there called "Подмосковные вечера" or Moscow Nights. Не слышны в саду даже шорохи, все здесь замерло до утра. Если б знали вы, как мне дороги подмосковные вечера. Если б знали вы, как мне дороги подмосковные вечера. Речка движется и не движется, вся из лунного серебра. Песня слышится и не слышится в эти тихие вечера. Песня слышится и не слышится в эти тихие вечера. Что ж ты, милая, смотришь искоса, низко голову наклоня? Трудно высказать и не высказать все, что на сердце у меня. Трудно высказать и не высказать все, что на сердце у меня. А рассвет уже все заветнее. Так, пожалуйста, будь добра, не забудь и ты эти летние подмосковные вечера. Не забудь и ты эти летние подмосковные вечера. I think it gives me permission to sing another one. Another Soviet one of my favorites. And this one is from World War II era. It's called Katyusha. Katyusha is a girl's name. Short one from Katerina or Catherine. And the song is telling a story about a young Russian girl who is waiting for her boyfriend when he will be back from the war, where he's fighting for his motherland. And she's singing, "Save the country and I will save love for you," which is a good deal. Also, Katyusha is a nickname for devastating Russian rockets of World War II, very famous weapon. And very often those rockets were mounted on the United States Studebaker trucks. And I see it as a very good example of Russian-American collaboration. And I think that that's what we need. I think world will be better if we collaborate instead of making Cold War. So, Katyusha. Also, I would like to mention that this melody used to be popular during World War II among Russian troops, as well as among German troops. It was something they used to like on both sides of this war, even they were killing each other, they used to like same melody, which is very symbolic as well. Katyusha. Расцветали яблони, груши, поплыли туманы над рекой. Выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег, на крутой. Выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег, на крутой. Выходила, песню заводила про степного сизого орла, про того, которого любила, про того, чьи письма берегла, про того, которого любила, про того, чьи письма берегла. Уж ты песня, песенка девичья, ты лети за ясным солнцем вслед, и бойцу на дальнем пограничье от Катюши передай привет. И бойцу на дальнем пограничье от Катюши передай привет. Пусть он вспомнит девушку простую и услышит, как она поет. Пусть он землю бережет родную, а любовь Катюша сбережет. Расцветали яблони, груши, поплыли туманы над рекой. Выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег, на крутой. Выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег, на крутой. I'll continue with Russian folk music and play for you another famous Russian folk tune, which is called Светит месяц, or The Moon is Shining Brightly. And I'm going to play it again in the form of concert variations. Next one is another type of Russian folk songs, lyrical type. It's often called Russian romances. Those songs are usually slow, with beautiful melodies and beautiful poetry about love and romance. They became popular in the major Russian cities, in the big cities at first, but now they're popular everywhere. And one I'm going to play is called "Вечер мне девицы," and it's telling a story about a young Russian girl who is sitting in her garden at night and listening to the nightingales. And nightingales are birds. Unfortunately, you don't have them over here in the United States, but there is lots of them are living in Europe and in Russia particularly, and they are very famous over there because they are singing only at night. They're creating this special, very special, beautiful atmosphere for the love and romance. Вечер мне девицы. I would like to sing for you, and it's a very old one and very popular, very famous. It's called "Я встретил вас" or "I met you." Я встретил вас, и все былое в отжившем сердце ожило. Я вспомнил время золотое, и сердцу стало я вспомнил время золотое, и сердцу стало как тепло, как после вековой разлуки гляжу на вас, как были во сне, и вот слышнее стали звуки неумолкавшие во мне, и вот слышнее стали звуки неумолкавшие во мне. Здесь ни одно воспоминание, здесь жизнь заговорила вновь, и плотно вас очарование, и так в душе моей любовь сможет вас очарование, и так в душе моей любовь. So I'm going to play for you another piece of Soviet music, and this one is this is movie music from the movie, very famous movie, which was made in 1962, I believe, and it's called Amphibian Man. And why Amphibian Man? Because it's science fiction. It's a very interesting story. And the story is taking place in Argentina, not even in Russia. In Argentina, there is some pretty famous doctor lives there, and he has a son who is very ill, and there is something wrong with his lungs. And doctor is realizing that his son is not going to make it, he's not going to survive for a long time. And he started his research, and finally he found the solution. Because they were living on the coast of the ocean, so he implanted shark's gills in his son. And this is how his son was going to survive. But after that, he became a little different creature, not like all human beings, because he was supposed to partially live in the ocean and partially on Earth. And basically he was growing up living in the ocean, and he became a very good man, beautiful, pretty healthy, but he was never exposed to human society. And finally, when he grew up enough, and he felt like he needs somebody else, because there is hormones and it's time to find for him a girlfriend. And he started more and more to come to the city nearby. And he met his love, very beautiful girl. But also he had a competitor who was local businessman. And this businessman used to have company for catching pearls from the bottom of the ocean. And when he figured out that this amphibian man can live basically underwater, be there for a long time, he got the idea to use him as a slave, so he can catch lots of pearls for him. And he kidnapped this young gentleman and put him in a barrel with water. But he didn't know that this gentleman is supposed to be outside the water for a few hours a day. And that's why amphibian man lost his lungs completely. And by the time he was freed up with his father and his friends, he was basically converted to a fish. He didn't have his lungs. He had just gills, and he had to leave Earth forever. I think it's very interesting lyrical story, also telling us probably that our greed-driving society is not ready for such a miracles like this amphibian man, and it's hard to survive in this society. So there was a movie, a very beautiful movie with famous and still popular music from it, which was written by famous Soviet composer Andrei Petrov. And also, it's not going to be Russian sounding music. It's supposed to sound Argentinian. But also, after one of my concerts, some woman from the audience approached us and told us that I'm from Brazil, and the music you just played doesn't sound Argentinian at all, it sounds exactly Brazilian. So now I'm confused, but anyway, it's supposed to sound as Argentinian music, amphibian. Another Russian folk melody in form of concert variations, and this one is from Urals. Urals are mountains. They are the oldest mountains on the earth, and they are located in Russia and dividing Europe from Asia, or vice versa. It depends on which side you are. So I've spent most of my time there living in an Asian part. So, and this song is called Uralskaya Plisovaya, which means Ural dance. Also, it's known under the name Polyanka very often. Another very famous one, it's called Kamarinskaya. program for today. Now with another Russian folk song, which I'm going to sing for you, and it's called Oi Kalina. Kalina is a viburnum tree, but the song itself is not about trees, of course. The song is about life, how life can be tough to you sometimes, how strong you have to be to make it happen. Ой, Kalina. Very much, ladies and gentlemen. It was my pleasure to play and sing for you this afternoon. And usually I'm not performing alone. We're performing together with another musician, with an American pianist whose name is Terry Boyarsky, and we call ourselves Russian Duo. And you can check us on the web. We have web page, and address is www.russianduo.com. We have over there all information about us, our concert schedule. Also, you can purchase CD. We have a couple CDs over there, and one is just recorded a few months ago. It was my pleasure again. Thank you very much. My name is Oleg, and I'm from Siberia, Russia, and I play balalaika.